Hi guys, so this is part 2 in my, I guess pretty much a final Poland house build update. I might do like one more completely final one, maybe, but I think this will cover the majority of it. So this will be going through the numbers, so how much it cost me to build a house in Poland. Essentially, I'm going to kick off with the overall sort of view, and I'm not going to go through each single line of what these positions entail, if that makes any sense. I will show it on the screen, and then obviously for those of you who are interested, you can pause the video, you can look at all the individual entries. Everything is color coded, so that should make it easier. So kicking off, I had to pay for a pole removal. So obviously those of you who followed me, you know how frustrating that was, but essentially there was an electricity pole, for those of you that don't know, that was smack bang in the middle of where my house was going to be, well, sort of in the middle of where my house was going to be, in the middle of the land anyway. And I had to pay myself for the electricity company to come and move it to the edge of my land. So that cost me 17,000 zloty, which was about £3,300. Now, in terms of materials for the house build, all in all, I know like when you look at the individual entries, there might be things that you would class as materials rather than other or whatever else, but I've tried to be as fair as I could be. So all of the materials for the house build up until now, including the windows, cost me £274,000. Sorry, 274,000 zloty. Oh my God, pounds. I would not have bought that, which was about £50,000. So this was by far the most expensive part of the house build. Now, the one thing I will mention for those of you who are maybe considering this, it doesn't have to be this expensive. So first of all, a lot of the stuff I bought ended up being bought after the price increases decreased already, but also I picked like all the best stuff because a lot of the stuff I purchased at the beginning before I started running out of money, and I sort of went for the best possible options. So for example, the bricks that my house is made from, they are like what a lot of people consider better quality. Obviously there's debate as with everything, but they were more expensive. So they are meant to be better when it comes to isolation because they have more air in them. So they were more expensive. I bought, I think it's styrofoam. I bought the more expensive styrofoam. So I went for 20 centimeters and it's the dark styrofoam. So again, this is better isolation, but more expensive than the normal styrofoam. I also ended up with the roof of the house. I ended up paying extra. It was about 10,000 zloty from what I remember to get like wood put all across the roof basically. So this again is additional isolation from heat, from sound, from letting the heat escape and things like that, because wood isolates. So again, that was an additional cost. So I will scroll through and you can see sort of everything that's part of materials here. Plumbing was 20,000, for example. Styrofoam, you can see here, 17,600. The roof structure, that was 15,000. The doors that I've put in materials, so these are the external doors because you can't really live without external doors, but the internal ones I put as part of furniture because you know, you could live without that really. So I tried to be like that. The shutters and the windows, obviously very expensive. So this was 20,000, 16,600. And then there was a little bit more here, so 25,000 here. So it was a massive expense out of that. So you've got the 25, the 20 and the 16. So 60,000 zloty pretty much for just windows. Now, septic tank as well. This isn't something that everyone would have to do. I had to do it because there's no sewage in my street. So you have to have somewhere to put your sewage into. So that is again an expense that not everyone would have to have. So what I'm trying to say is you would be able to bring this down if you wanted to. Now, moving on, next is the heat pump. So the heat pump itself cost me 30,000 zloty, which is about £5,500. Again, all the pound figures are approximate because FX rates in the last year and a half that I've been building have fluctuated insanely. You know, they've gone from like 4 zloty 90 per pound to like 6 zloty per pound, averaging out at about 5.20. So crazy. So I'm just approximating here anyway. So the heat pump itself was 30,000, and then the labor for the heat pump I think was about 7, which moves me on to labor, second biggest expense. I didn't really do anything myself. A lot of people, when they house build, if they want to, if they're a bit more sort of DIY able, they can do a lot themselves. I didn't. The internal finish was all done by my uncle, so I don't really know how much I'm paying him yet. So that's not included in this figure. But everything else was done by external companies. So that cost me 88,200 zloty, which is about £16,000. Now, this includes surveyors, this includes the initial build, this includes labour for the terrace, which again, you might not want to do a terrace if you're doing that. But yeah, a lot of money on labour. Then other. So other is the thing that I'm sort of labelling as things that other people probably wouldn't need to pay for, or that would be very, very optional. So this was 11,600 zloty, £2,000. So this includes the project buy, because I purchased my project. The initial fencing, which was basically made from cut down wood and just a simple fence. So that was 900. The water container, the temporary garage, and then the wood for the solar panel stand. So obviously not everyone would want to do that. So all of those are optionals, if you will. Then the fencing, again, separated that out because that's a very individual thing. I have quite a big piece of land, so it cost me 26,000 zloty to put my fencing up, and it was the cheapest fencing that I could do. That was semi-solid, so that's £4,700. And finally, the next massive cost is furniture, etc. So by etc, I mean also things like equipment, so fridge, oven, washer, dryer, all of that stuff. So that was 70,500 zloty, which is about £13,500. Now, if you look at the breakdown, the majority of that is my kitchen. So that was 37,000 zloty. That included the installation and the transport. Then you have 5,000 for doors, 11,000 for IKEA furniture, then 4,000 again for IKEA furniture. And then you've got the fridge and the washer and the dryer. So these are approximate figures. It must have been 4,800 or something and things like that, but it was roughly this much. So I've separated that out into furniture. So just backtracking a little bit, if you've watched all the previous ones and you got up to this bit on the breakdowns, the newest thing is pretty much the bits and bobs like glue for the tiles and all the little things for the inside finish. That was 6,300 zloty. So about £1,200 or something. So pretty much where I expected it to be. I've stopped being surprised by these invoices now. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are. So all in all, in total, the amount that I've spent so far is 517,000 zloty 800, which is about £95,000. So in terms of what I still need to pay for, it's about 27,500 zloty. Again, this is approximate because until people tell me how much it is exactly, I don't really know. But but I'm assuming about 4,000 for the electrician, 15,000 for labour for my uncle, 5,000 more for the solar panel stand. So this is for, I need to buy like roof tiles and all the things that come with that. And then about 3,500 for water installation. So I currently have about 30,000, so I should be okay for all of this. But there's going to be other things that undoubtedly creep up. And I also want to buy solar panels, which means I can't afford those at the moment. So all in all, approximately, if we take what I've spent so far and what I'm going to spend, we're looking at a total cost of about 545,000 zloty, which is about £105,000. So there you have it. I am finished pretty much with the house build. I am living here now. I'm loving it. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Bye.